Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Cloud and Hasu, this time on Metalopolis. mouzHasu spawning as the red Protoss player over here at the 12 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have Cloud spawning here as the blue Terran. So this will be Terran versus Protoss once again here on Metalopolis. This is game 3 in a 3-game series that I have between these two players. I believe Cloud took game 1 and Hasu took game 2. So Hasu most likely will be throwing or getting a 9 pylon in just a moment as this game gets underway. Based upon these two starting locations, a lot of air unit harassment may become a very heavy possibility. Once again, we already see Hasu setting up an interesting positioning on this pylon once again, making it so that this pylon positioning is just really out of the ordinary. Not quite sure why mouzHasu likes to continue to do this. As the game plays out, maybe perhaps I will see some opening or some reason why. We also see another supply depot being placed down right here. That supply depot will need to be lowered permanently, otherwise it will be blocking the refinery in order to try to get any gas, as now Cloud quickly getting up to 12/19 food, and now will be getting up a barracks in just a moment. There we go. So Cloud getting a standard barracks here, and now interestingly enough, we see a gateway being built straight in behind these vents over here, also making it so that Hasu will be able to see anything that see beyond these vents. These vents often have a lot of interesting play come into them. I've seen players try to do drops straight into the vents. I've seen players land buildings straight into here and then train up units and then move out with those units as well. Also moving out with this one SCB quickly getting within sight on these minerals, and then because they're able to just gain sight onto those minerals, these minerals are not glowing. And it quickly reveals the fact that his opponent is not even really spawning here. In comes another one probe coming in over here, quickly seeing that there are no glowing minerals once again, and then continuing to move out even further. Didn't realize how close these minerals were close to this ramp compared to all the other locations. Anyways, back over here, we will see this one SCV coming up the ramp for just a moment, quickly trying to see if there's anyone spawning over here, and no one has spawned there, and now will be moving out. We do see refinery already being placed down by Cloud. Same thing with an assimilator being placed down over here, and now a cybernetics core coming in. We should be seeing warp gate research coming in online in just a moment as well, and then also training up a stalker. We also now see one marine on this high ground able to try to intercept that probe. That probe may get taken down relatively easily, as also we have a marauder currently being trained. That marauder needing only another 9 or 10 seconds will be able to come out in just a moment, and there we go. In comes one probe, and that probe being very smart, pulling back at just the right time, and then Cloud getting juked right there. So this one probe may be able to try to set up a proxy pylon into this location over here and try to warp in units. I do currently see one SCV now wandering around the inside. That SCV was able to see this one gateway, and now continuing the chrono boost that one warp gate research, trying to get that up much more quickly. And now this one stalker trying to give chase against this one SCV quickly getting taken down. And now this probe perhaps going to try to test the waters once again. However, it will find itself on the wrong end of a Gauss rifle. There you go, trying to pull back once again and trying to get away from this positioning. That marine unable to give any chase whatsoever, as this probe now will be able to return all the way home. We do see another pylon being placed down over here, so Hasu getting another pylon here, and now in comes a Reaper, so that Reaper will be able to gain sight. However, those two stalkers will be able to quickly make short work of that scouting Reaper, and that Reaper now down. So nicely done, Hasu getting this pylon here, and I think the positioning on these ledges will allow for a lot of a very aggressive play coming in from Hasu. Hasu will be able to warp in units over here on this low ground, and now going in for a Nexus. So this Nexus, interestingly enough, now going more for an economic game. So the longer this game goes, the more of an advantage Hasu will have. We do not see a command center already being completed by Cloud. So Cloud started this command center very much earlier, and now we'll be able to lift off with this command center in just a moment, and then be able to place it over here as it's currently being upgraded to an orbital command. So yeah, pretty much so far, Hasu trying to stay within this economic game. A lot of Marines and Marauders will be able to jump into this bunker in just a moment. Army wise, we see 625 for Hasu, meanwhile 300 for Cloud. Harvester count, Hasu getting a little bit of an advantage just because of that early chrono boost. However, Mules will be able to make up some of that economic game in just a moment. Cloud continuing to just try to train out more and more SCVs right now, and then I guess try to fully saturate this location here before it even lifts off and try to expose itself even further. We do see 2 barracks in play, one barracks with a reactor, and now interestingly enough moving out with this command center, and then gonna go ahead and block it over here. So not trying to do any aggressive expansion attempt so far. We do see one supply depot here, and now a starport perhaps will lift off and then try to land once again and then move out with the Banshee. We do see one SCV has been taken down already, as now Hasu should have an economic lead as he is able to mine from 16 mineral patches instead of just 8. We do see the starport now coming in a position over here, getting landing next to this tech lab. Sorry, just stumbling over my words just a little bit. As a factory now trying to fly in, trying to gain as much sight as possible. One observer currently being trained. This factory will get shot down relatively quickly, and now a sentry joining in on this fight as well. That sentry able to block that ramp if there is any early aggression. However, Cloud just still sticking into his base, finally moving out. We should perhaps see some bunkers over here in just a moment, as well as Cloud most likely will be calling down mules and trying to get a stronger economic game. We do see one observer now making its way out across the map, and now this one starport has not really built anything so far. No Banshees, no medevacs that I can see, and no Ravens. So I don't quite understand why that tech lab was even built. Perhaps a reactor would have been a better choice at this day, or at this time right now, as we now see an observer making its way out, trying to pull back, and then just going to park itself over here, trying to make sure that if there is any incoming ground infantry army that he will be able to intercept it. So there is that one observer now in the sky. You can take a look at Cloud. Cloud does not see that one observer parking itself right there as these units now moving out. So Cloud's army movement is now being revealed over here to mouzHasu. So Hasu now trying to get some additional stalkers, and will also be able to get a guardian shield off from the sentry, or perhaps some force fields. Both very, very strong options. However, with the number of Marines and Marauders, with the number of Marines, the Guardian Shield would probably be the stronger choice until that one sentry has been focused down. So perhaps we will now finally see some aggression moving out. We also see this one pylon over here, so reinforcements will be able to warp in here in just a moment, as these stalkers now going to walk up this ramp and try to take down this Marine. Marine just standing there, going to have a very bad day. There it goes, just quickly getting shot down there, as now once again we have more Marauders, Marines once again on the move. Back over here we finally see a reactor being placed down by Cloud. However, that will slow down the medevac training for quite some time, as it takes 50 units of time in order to try to even build that reactor. And finally another factory being placed down over here, and now getting more and more supply depots. Level 1 weapons upgrade now being completed. We do see an armory now being trained or being built as well, so not exactly sure what that armory is for, but that armory will allow for even stronger and stronger units to be built in just a moment as well. We do see that the supply depot has been completed here, now trying to make sure that there is no there is no supply locking, as more and more supply depots. So just a Cloud just trying to macro up a very, very large army, trying to make sure that there is no early aggression, and there is now one Raven in the air, so that one Raven will be able to reveal any of those observers. I'm kind of surprised that we do not see the combat the combat shield. Yeah, the combat shield has been researched. I just couldn't see it on these Marines, as that shield is over here on the far side. There we go. Finally able to see Cloud's little combat shield there. Also a couple medevacs, or one medevac in the air as well. And now another factory now trying to lift off and trying to reveal a little bit of sight. Not quite sure why this factory is once again in the air. Not quite sure why this factory or this army was even placed down. If he's not gonna build any additional units, perhaps Vikings will be able to get that level 1 weapons upgrade here in just a moment, as well as we now see one probe will get shot down over here from the Zelnaga watchtower, and more scouting moving out from this one factory once again. Taking a look at the current production buildings, we do see a Twilight Council. mouzHasu now getting the getting the extended thermal lance research, and also trying to train up more and more Colossi. Those Colossi will find themselves on the wrong end of some Lancer torpedoes in just a moment. As there are 2 Vikings in the air, production-wise, we should probably see even more Vikings joining in. However, those Colossi just able to just walk up onto here and now going straight for those tech labs. So the tech lab quickly will be burned down, and now in comes a Viking able to shoot down one of those observers, and now this army deciding to pull back once again. The extended thermal lance research has been completed, level 1 weapons upgrade has been completed as well, and now we see a Phoenix joining in. So a Phoenix joining in on this fight, as Hasu now getting that Stargate up and running. So with the Stargate, unbeknownst to a lot of people, Ravens are in fact light mechanical units. So a Raven will find itself very, very quickly shot down by just a couple Phoenixes. And that's one of the things that perhaps Cloud needs to be careful of. We do see that Raven already on full energy will be able to drop some point defense drones as well. It will be very, very critical to see whether or not that Raven gets those point defense drones in the air. If he's able to get those point defense drones in the air, perhaps we'll be able to intercept a lot of attacks from those stalkers, and then those Vikings will be able to deal a lot of damage towards those Colossi. So we do see a lot of Colossi standing here. The Colossi now pulling to the back of the base, making sure that they are not overexposed as those stalkers are able to once again rejoin on this army once again. We do see one probe now perhaps moving around the map. SCVs being transferred over here to the natural expansion. So Cloud now trying to run off of 3 bases just with a bare skeletal mining crew over here at the main base so far, as we now see barracks being another barracks using this tech lab, and now lowering all of these supply depots as these units now moving out. Cloud now sitting on 6 racks. So using 6 barracks, we'll be able to produce a lot of units very, very easily. Now trying to move out. I'm a little curious as to why there is not any Psystorm or High Templars. We do see the level 3 weapons research on these Marines and Marauders currently. Also, that Armory still hasn't done any research whatsoever. Perhaps those Vikings would benefit from the level 1 air upgrade attacks, but that does not seem to be the case. As this army now once again moving out, we do see a couple of these Phoenixes trying to move out, and these Zealots will quickly be able to take down all of these units over here. However, quick aggression into this location here, and now Hasu losing this expansion. This is going to be a very, very bad fight indeed. A couple of these medevacs will get shot down as well. One medevac already down. A second medevac will get shot down as well. However, the fight is already engaging, and no point defense drones in the air just quite yet. We do see one medevac over here with a lot of energy. Stalkers do not have Stalker Blink, currently being researched. Halfway done so far, as the level 1 air upgrades research currently being researched as well. So those Phoenixes will be able to shoot down those medevacs and that Raven even more quickly. But after that, I'm not quite sure what those units will be able to do. Perhaps we'll get some Graviton Beams, forcing a fight over here. Colossi now being able to slice through a lot of these units. Stalkers now trying to engage. However, point defense drones in the air. A lot of these Phoenixes trying to fight back as well. And Vikings now trying to go after those Colossi, and Colossi quickly getting taken down there. And it looks as though Hasu just engaging a little bit too early and out of position. Those point defense drone able to intercept so many of those attacks, and then pushing back and dealing a lot of damage. Hasu is in a lot of trouble as these units once again move out and just attacking at the wrong time. They're losing losing another Colossus, and as these Marauders and Marines are able to just continue to fire away, able to take down this Nexus, Hasu is forced to say GG, and Cloud takes game 3 in this best of 3 matchup. So really nicely done by both sides. However, Cloud not exactly knowing where Hasu not knowing exactly where Cloud was when Cloud was trying to put pressure onto this high third base expansion, or third base by Hasu, and as soon as Cloud was able to simply take down this Nexus very, very quickly, things were not looking good for Hasu at all. Hasu also tried to come in with those Phoenixes, try to force a fight. Graviton beamed a couple of those units. However, medevacs were able to quickly join back in on this fight, and those Phoenixes were not able to deal all too much damage against those Vikings, and those Vikings were just focus firing against those Colossi. With those Colossi down, that Marine Marauder army simply so powerful. Level 2 weapons upgrade, level 3 nearing completion. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Cloud and Hasu here on Metalopolis.